The video, yay! And my last video was called Boxing Needs Superstars. I briefly talked about the subject of passing the torch. I didn't really go into that deeply. And probably someone that knows a lot more about boxing history could give you more examples about boxers that pass the torch. But I feel that I want to talk about how important it is for fighters to pass the torch. When there's a superstar or a star, pay-per-view attraction, a champion, a pound-for-pound king, whatever you want to call it, his time eventually comes to an end. He becomes 30, 35, 40, 45, 49. In the case of Hopkins, that's a guy who at the age of 49 had to be forced to pass the torch. And torches are never passed, they are taken. They are taken. They are stolen. They beat someone's butt and take it, right? Like Pacquiao did to De La Hoya, like Kovalev did to Bernard Hopkins. But in the case recently, our pound for pound king, Mr. Money Mayweather. Now, I don't want to make this about Mayweather, but of course, you talk about boxing, you gotta talk about Mayweather. He never passed the torch. And like I said, the torch gotta be taken, and a bunch of fighters had the chance to take the torch. But also, it's a passing because you give these young guys a shot to take the torch. You fight the very best of all your possible options. And if they still don't pass the torch, if they still don't take it, then you're just great. You're just legendary. And Mayweather is that. Ricardo Lopez is that. But the greatest fighters passed the torch. Henry Armstrong did to Sugar Ray Robinson. Sugar Ray Robinson did to Carmen Basilio, right? De La Hoya did to Pacquiao. De La Hoya did to Mayweather as well. Yeah, there's a bunch of other examples. I can't really think about him right now. Duran fought way past his prime, and I think there is a big difference in fighting past your prime to passing the torch to the young guns. Sometimes it comes in the same time. You like Sergio Martinez with Miguel Cotto. And it's a shame that Sergio never got a chance to pass the torch to another great middleweight like Gennady Golovkin. He never gave him a shot. Instead, he passed it to an already great fighter in Miguel Cotto, which just enhanced his legacy. And then you have Canelo, who fought Cotto, who got the torch kind of passed to him. He didn't really take the torch from him. He didn't beat up Cotto. That's not a way you take the torch from someone. The way you take the torch from someone is Kovalev B-Hop, right? But it's important for these guys that are coming out to fight these young guys that could beat them, so the sport could live on. And when you beat someone, a lot of the times their popularity goes towards you, or even some resentment towards you. I'll give another example. De La Hoya beating Julio Cesar Chavez. Julio Cesar Chavez, definitely. You watch how Chavez came out of that fight. He got that torch robbed from him. De La Hoya beat him like he stole something, and then he took it back. That's how you take someone's torch, man. In that first fight, and then the second fight, gave him another whooping. That's how you beat up an old man. Danny Garcia with Eric Morales. As much as that fight hurts me because how big of a fan I am of Eric Morales and how little I feel about, we'll say that, about Danny Garcia. But we seem to be in a transition period right now, and boxing is kind of weak right now. There's really no superstars, and that's because of these guys. They didn't really pass the torch. Tyson Fury kind of took the torch from Vladimir Klitschko, but we'll still see how that goes. And when someone doesn't pass the torch, I'll take another example from way back in the day. Jim Jeffries, when I think he felt like he never really passed the torch. He just retired undefeated, and that there was another great boxing champion, regardless of his color. There was a great boxing champion out there that he never beat, that he wanted to feel that he could still compete against the best, that he could still beat this guy. And that's why I feel that he fought Jack Johnson and his need to pass the torch. Either pass the torch, get it taken from him, or keep the torch with him. But once you retire, the torch kind of burns out by itself anyway. That's why it was important for these legendary fighters to fight as long as they could against the best competition that they could. Alright, I hope I cleared this. I hope I explained myself well, and I hope you guys like this video. Thanks for watching. Peace.